Hi, everybody. It is Monday, the 18th of September, 2023. Uh, Please remember, hey, I'm a clairvoyant, clairaudient psychic, so everything is for entertainment purposes only. The full disclaimer is down in the box. If you want a reading, email me at glindathegood17@gmail.com. And I'll give you the details. And there's also the link, so if you want to buy me a coffee or a cream soda, that's very welcome. So let's get going. There's just crazy stuff going on, and yeah, I'll hit some of it. Now, one thing that I spotted, I guess the EU is now fining TikTok, that app developed by the Big Red Sea to spy on all the teenagers, and it grabs all the info off of your cell phone. I guess something they've been fined like $370 million. So yeah, I don't use TikTok. So I had to look at it because of something a few years back, but since then, I've never downloaded it. And if I do have to look at something, I make sure to use my VPN. So yeah, then somebody asked me about back in 2020, Governor Cuomo of New York was thinking about starting quarantine camps. And right now it's just rumors because somebody has challenged the authority of, what is it, Governor Kathy Hochul's, how much power she actually has. So they're going after the New York State government because they are basically challenging who has the authority to grab kids for medical reasons. Well, folks, you got to be concerned with that in loco parentis crap that's in the schools. Because if your school has that clause, the minute your children go onto the school property, your parental rights are severed. It's called in loco parentis, and that gives the school district the ability, the legal right, to do whatever they want with your kids. So I wouldn't be so concerned about a quarantine camp. I would be fighting to eradicate in loco parentis out of your schools. Once you have that done, then all this trans garbage can get tossed out the window, and you can sue the daylights out of the school for forcing this CRT nonsense down a kid's throat. So you've got to ditch in loco parentis first. Now, okay, I have gotten bombarded with people asking me about Russell Brand. Okay. Yeah. In my past, yeah, I worked in the music business, worked in the film production. Kind of been around it all my life. Yeah, my older sister dated we lived in Brick, and she dated a guy from Freehold. People who know their rock and roll will know exactly what I'm saying. So I've been around it all my life. I've been around celebrities all my life thanks to my dad's job. Let's put it this way. I know people that worked on the movie Get Him to the Greek that Russell Brand was in. And this was back in 2010, 13 years ago. Yeah, it was a joke. People were laughing. It's like, yeah, the guy's like a method actor. He's not acting. This is how the dude acts. The guy's, hey, he was always up for a one night stand. And these women get pissed off because they don't realize, hey, you're a one night stand, honey. And he's not going to call you or send you roses the next day. So I guess some little girl who got her feelings hurt when she was of the age of legal consent now needs cash. So what she's doing is selling her disappointing story to the tabloids. How much money is she making off of this story? How much is she getting for every single frickin' interview? Yeah, I guess the girl lives in the UK. We know inflation has skyrocketed here in the States, but it's just as bad, if not worse, in the UK. So I think this woman needs some cash. So that's why she's saying, oh, I was rah, 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 rah. I'm like, ladies, come on. Who are you going to go after next? Some guy in a band that used a ton of Aquanet? I mean, come on. I mean, the stuff I saw in the 80s, and I heard about stuff from the 70s. And I saw stuff in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s. I mean, I saw a lot. Are now all these women who where a guy copped a feel? Are you all going to go and start having assault charges against all these rock and roll dudes? I mean, how many women were extras and worked on a movie and played up to an assistant director or a producer to get a line so they could get their SAG card? I mean, how many of those women are now going to file assault charges because they didn't get what they want or they need cash? All this is a cash grab. And yeah, back in his early days when guys reached that status symbol, yeah, a lot of the guys are little horn dogs. Yeah, I mean, Pamela DeBar's made a boatload of money by writing a book, but she didn't make any accusations of assault. Same with all the other well-known groupies back then, and still are. So, it's just a money grab, okay? Now, we've got this week the UN General Assembly is all meeting in New York. And basically their goals, it's all about climate change, sustainability, yada 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 yada. Basically, it's what they can do to have worldwide domination and control by 2030. If you poke around, you're going to find a lot of reports saying it's going to be like maybe 15% is going to be accomplished by 2030. I mean, 85% is going to go through the window. So, yeah. And especially this dude that goes on, Jake Sullivan, who's the National Security Advisor for the White House. I mean, he's having kittens because he's saying, oh my God, there's going to be so many protests in front of the UN building. Well, yeah, right now there's a big protest happening with these people who are so stupid who want to end the use of fossil fuels. But people, don't you realize, these idiots don't realize how much damage they're causing by demanding everybody use electric crap and mining for lithium. I haven't done too much digging, but I think lithium could be considered a fossil fuel also. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of protests, and they're getting ready for it because I mean, you've got the Z guy attending, you've got the dude from Israel, and there's a lot of stuff hitting the fan in Israel about their new kind of government. So hopefully some of the idiots who the Jews that continuously vote Democrat might wake up and smell some coffee. I mean, wake up, people. If you don't, it's a joke. You got to wake up and realize what's going on. Now, yeah, and expect we're going to have a bunch of people protesting about the blue and yellow flag country. I mean, I want to see the pro Vlad people out there picketing against the Z guy. And then plus we've got that stupid wench AOC going bonks, talking about the U.S. mineral supplies of lithium and how we shouldn't drain our own supply, but continue to be at the mercy of the Taliban for the lithium out of Afghanistan and the Big Red Sea for the lithium out of China. Yeah, I mean, and how people don't realize that you push for these EVs. By doing that, you're going to be decimating not only the big American automakers, but it's going to destroy a lot of the infrastructure of the United States. And they keep using, especially AOC, they keep using the word transportation. Hey, it's called, our rail system is going to be decimated because most of it's hauled on diesel engines. Battery operated locomotives are like, okay, it's great to go around a Christmas tree, but if you have to haul something from Chicago to California or back and forth, it ain't happening. No way. There's no power, not enough power. They want to get us into, they want everybody into an EV so they can control our movements. It's like, do you want a vehicle or do you want to be in a computer box with wheels that if government doesn't want you to go to a local grocery store, they'll zap into that computer and say, no, you're going to go to this one. They're going to watch and limit what you can do, when, where, and how. And this is what AOC is promoting. Now, other people are like coming up against her, like Congresswoman Nancy Mace out of South Carolina. It seems like the Carolina folks are the ones that are really waking up and making their voices known. I mean, North Carolina's Lieutenant Governor, where is his name? Yeah, Mark Robinson. He's at the Pray, Vote, and Stand Summit in Washington, D.C. I mean, he went on a tirade saying, hey, if he was the governor down in Texas, he would have already called out the military. And he's telling JoJo that. I know Greg Abbott down in Texas has to walk a fine line, or wheel on a fine line. But yeah, the people who are speaking the truth and making their voices known are coming out of the Carolinas. So keep your eye on those guys. Okay? I mean, Baboon Johnson and that stupid Adams could really learn something from Mr. Robinson and Mr. Scott. They know what they're talking about. These other Baboon and an Adam's apple, clueless. Absolutely clueless. Now we know that McCarthy, Kevin, Speaker of the House, has started the impeachment inquiries pertaining to JoJo. And right now he's going after the bank records and some of the phone records. Well, at the same time now, Little Hunter is trying to sue the IRS whistleblower, that individual person who spilled the beans to the House Ways and Means Committee. He's saying, well, the whistleblower reviewed my private information. No. The whistleblower was under a subpoena, basically, and had to tell the truth at a committee meeting for the House Ways and Means, and had to speak honestly. And what that person said to the committee It was the committee that released the information. So this is just to prove how stupid Hunter is. And he's suing a person who testified before Congress. No, he's protected under the Whistleblower Act, idiot. It was our House of Representatives that gave out the information. But I guess Hunter's too stoned to realize what he's doing. And then right now in the UK, they're making noise about Pyrola or Pyrola version. You know, they've got a new name for the birdienza. You open the window, in flies influenza. So they've got a new name, and they're saying, oh, it's worse than ever before. I go, folks, every time something mutates, it gets weaker. So what number mutation is this? Don't rush out for a jabberdo, a whatchamacallit. You don't need it. You don't need it at all. But of course, the UK is using scare tactics, which is a pile of cow poo. Now it's also all over the news that, yeah, we've got little Kimmy from North Korea visiting Russia, and I guess he was gifted a fur hat to wear, a ceremonial sword, and a bunch of drones. If the drones are coming out of Russia, don't you think Russia is not going to release absolute control over those drones? Basically, those drones can be remote controlled from Russia to do whatever Russia wants over little Kimmy's country. Kimmy the dictator. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty smart move of Vlad. I'm like, really is. Now, because Vlad is a smart dude, the G7 has decided to pull a stunt. You see, most of the people think diamonds only come out of Africa. No. Some really absolutely gorgeous gemstones come out of the landmass that is called Russia. Right now, the G7 has said, put a ban on anybody selling or purchasing diamonds that originated in Russia. Well, a lot of the raw material is fed to India, and the stone cutters in India do it and cut and polish the loose stones, and then they're sent worldwide to be set in whatever jewelry. Okay? Well, the G7 dudes said, nobody can buy any more Russian diamonds. I'm like, okay, so now the guys, the blood diamond industry is going to skyrocket. You know, there's a lot of ways to stones are easily transported. Let's put it that way. So it's going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of people buying Russian gemstones on the quiet. G7 is so stupid. So stupid. I mean, talk about stupidity. Yeah, okay. We know that all these alleged North African refugees are landing on the island of Lampedusa, the Italian island. Well, guess who went to visit it? Of course, Giorgia Meloni, who's the Prime Minister of Italy. But Ursula von der Leyen went with her. And I liked how they came off the plane. Meloni did not allow von der Leyen, who's like the big shot with the EU, to walk in front of her. No, she stayed like together. You're not more important than me. I'm not walking behind you. She stayed right at her side, that's a big signal to people saying, Italy's not bending over to the EU. Well, Maloney is saying, yeah, we're going to put some displaced persons camps together. So if you crash the island, you're going to be in a camp waiting your turn, because van der Leyen is now saying, oh, we are going to pick and choose who we accept as a refugee. So in the meantime, all these other countries that border the Mediterranean are stuck with all these idiots. Well, people are looking at all the damage from the storms and the flooding that's going on in Libya and the earthquakes. Well, I think those were manipulated and planned, because where they're hitting is the staging area for a lot of these refugees. So, great way to eliminate the refugees. Don't even make sure that they cross the Rainbow Bridge before they can even approach the shore of the Mediterranean. That's what I think is going on, what I keep getting. Now, yeah, there's a lot of other stuff that's kind of weird, especially going on with, like right now, we know this meeting is going on at the UN. Well, one of the German ministers just right out called the Big Red Sea's ping pong a dictator. And now they're upset because they feel insulted because the Big Red Sea, I mean, how dare somebody call their leader a dictator? Well, he is. It's the Big Red Sea. I mean, it's the the foreign minister went MIA. Now the defense minister is MIA. So anyone who isn't walking and following the directive of ping pong ball exactly is magically disappears. That's what happens in a dictatorship. And now this big alleged private construction company, I mean, they develop all these high-rise apartments and stuff, and skyscrapers, like in the bigger cities. It's called Evergrande. I mean, in a communist country, there is really no private enterprise. Well, because of the stuff the Big Red Sea is doing, the price of that stock, Evergrande, is hitting rock bottom, which means they don't have the money to finish all these projects they started. Yeah. So a lot of weird things are kicking in. Really, really kicking in. Now we've got the other thing that people are having. I watched it yesterday because I saw the blurb on Saturday. This one Sunday morning show, Meet the Journalists, has a new host / moderator, and she's a woman of color, and one of her first show, basically, she had an interview with DJT. Now, the American media is a joke. Well, now they are giving her grief because her first interview was DJT. I go, yeah, he is making noise, and what he needs to be heard. It is newsworthy for him to be giving an interview. And I guess they're going, these donkeys and these people that want to censor the press, they're basically going batshit crazy. I mean, they keep saying that, well, they keep trying to promote Cami Poop, but Cami Poop was given one job, and she hasn't even started it. I mean, she was supposed to keep an eye and take care of all the stuff going down at our southern border at the Rio Grande. Well, she hasn't done a darn thing. I mean, instead of squawking at Abbott, Baboon Johnson and Adam's Apple need to start screaming at Cami Poop. But they'll basically get screwed up because they can't go after a female donkey. I mean, for a black man to go after a black female, allegedly? Oh my God, that's sexual harassment. She's going to cry bloody murder. And I'm like, dude, she doesn't even like, I mean, she married white, just like Meghan Markle. So yeah, I mean, some of the other nonsense. I mean, Chuck Schumer has just ditched the dress code for our U.S. Senate, all to cater to that Fetterman guy. So, yeah, basically, he's just dropped our standards down to that of the Z guy who's always seen in green sweats, polar fleece, quarter zips. So now Fetterman can wear his shorts and sneakers and hoodies on the Senate floor. This is how stupid and disrespectful the donkeys are. Yeah, disrespectful. I mean, if you go and you're going to see a big shot, I'm sorry, but women, you pull out the pantyhose, the nylons, because if you're going to a formal event, you better have hosiery on and not wear flip-flops. Yeah, you better have the correct undergarments on, or else you're going to be looked at like you don't know what you're doing. And guys, learn how to polish your dress shoes. Okay? Because you will need to wear suits at times. Now, a couple people asked about Henry meeting some members of NATO. All that was a meet and greet, handshake, hello, goodbye, and it was just for a photo op. There was no discussion. It was, hi, how are you doing? And then those guys booked. I mean, he was there for this stuff and they booked out. Somebody said that Rachel was caught bringing something into the country. I already shot an email out to people that I know in Germany so they can get me the real deal on that. But I'm just kind of laughing at it. But something else that caught my eye this morning is, I don't know how many people know who Brian Warner is. He works under the stage name Marilyn Manson. Well, I guess back in 2019, at a concert in New Hampshire, there was a person making a video of his concert, and they were off the stage. I don't know if they had approval to video the concert, the performance, but I guess this person was not acting in the correct protocol for filming. And I guess during the concert, he went over and actually supposedly spit on the person at the camera. And some of it got onto her. So yeah, there was the court date because she had a fit about it. I noticed that woman had quite a few tattoos. So I have a feeling it was like she didn't get what she wanted from Marilyn Manson. So he didn't do what she wanted. So yeah, she filed an assault charge. He pleaded no contest. Yeah, he's got a fine. He'll do some community service. He did ask if he could do his community service in California where he lives instead of back in New Hampshire. So I guess the judge said, okay, no problem. See ya, bye. And let's see what else. And I had one other question. People are like going, no, as for the health of the H&M's kids, I'm not going there. Not going there at all. Because it's not it's not a thing I want to go for. And someone accuses me of knowing nothing about World War II. Well, sweetie, big mistake. All my uncles served in too. I grew up hearing the real stories. My mom's side, I had a couple aunts. Some of them had numbers on their arm. A couple of them didn't. But they were born in Europe. And they lived through the war over in Europe. So I heard the real stories from them, what it was like. I heard the stories from my uncles. I heard the stories, actually, of the people who were trapped in the Philippines being held under the Japanese. And I do have a degree in European history. So, you know exactly who you are, and don't like what I have to say, and you're going to make accusatory tones like that? Bye-bye. Don't need you. I'll take the hit on numbers. Yeah, you know exactly who you are. Okay, some people are going to say, oh, you're not nice, you're calling people out. I'm like, my channel, my site, my sandbox. You don't know my actual background. I have to wait a while before I can really start spilling beans. But yeah, I was raised in a family of a boatload of World War II veterans. And a lot of war bride aunts. So I heard the real deal. The stuff that isn't sanitized and put into history books. So, yeah, I don't need your little snarky comments and accusations, so bye-bye. You know exactly who you are. Well, folks, yeah, it's the 18th of September. Next video will go up on the 20th. Remember on the, the 23rd, this Saturday, remember, 1 p.m., it's going to be the live broadcast with the Mystical Fortunes. Start telling your friends. Let them know they can come on and ask questions. And she's going to pull the cards, and then I'll get my impression. So if you have interest, stuff, hey, we have to only allow one question per person. So think of your question ahead of time. So when Saturday comes, and the sooner when you see the little box with the red live, that's what you want to click. I might put a reminder up, but at 1 p.m. you look for the image of us with the live on it. That's where you need to go. And I'll be reminding you all this week, live broadcast with Mystical Fortunes, 1 p.m. Central Standard, 1 p.m. Chicago time, 7 p.m. London time this upcoming Saturday, the 23rd. Okay? So everyone have a great evening. I'll be talking to you on Wednesday, the 20th. Bye-bye.